Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Untold Thoughts, where we talk about penguins. Where we dive deep, bro. We dive deep into conversations, into untold thoughts, into the psyche, the subconscious, where we talk about things that aren't usually spoken about in dinner tables. Hit that like button and subscribe because I'll be posting more. Yeah. And if you don't like these types of conversations, then what are you doing here? Regardless, I do invite you in. Let's hop in to talk about the subject today. In today's subject of discussion, we will be talking about why do people wear masks and how do we take it off? As weird as it sounds, but that's what we're going to be doing. Anyway, a mask is when a person intentionally hides themselves, intentionally or unintentionally. Let me specify that. Intentionally or unintentionally, a person puts on a facade, puts on projection, puts on or projects something to the outside that is not true within that person itself. So why do we do that? Well, let's go back to the good old days. I'm talking about cavemen. When a storm was a brewing, the cavemen would go into the cave, right? Why? Well, first, fear. Second, they knew the consequences of staying outside when a storm was coming. And third, they didn't want to expose themselves, which is mainly the reason. They don't want to be exposed in that storm. So it's basically the same thing. When you walk into a room full of individuals that you don't usually hang out with, they're not your friends, you will behave in a totally different way than if you were with your friends. Now, this is acknowledgeable and this is understanding, and many people may say, well, of course, because I don't trust these other people. Exactly. That doesn't take the reason that you're putting a mask on to protect yourself, because you don't trust them. That's why we put a mask. Basically, it's more out of fear than anything else. But another example can be, and this is more of an example of how detrimental wearing a mask can be in a relationship, in any type of relationship. We're talking about romantic relationships or even friends. So what I mean by that, let's say I'm person A. I am person A and there's person B somewhere around the world, but there exists a person B. When I meet person B, when person A and person B, no, I'm just kidding. When person A and person B get to know themselves, we both have masks in the beginning. Why? Because we don't trust each other. But that's the whole point. I want to get to know this person. But why? Because we don't wear ourselves on our sleeve. Like, we don't have our heart on our hand when we first meet a person. We put layers on top of layers of what would this person think? What if I wear this? But once you enter a relationship with a person and you've been with this person, ends up being totally different than what you first met this person as. So let's dive deep. Me, person A, meets person B. I start to interact more with this person. We go to movies, we watch shows, we eat together, we go to dinner, we do all types of stuff. Now, as time goes on, I may do a joke or not wake up in a good mood. And I may say something to this person that may hurt her feelings, her or his feelings, whatever. This person then puts boundaries with me and says, I don't really appreciate or like the way you spoke or did certain things. Hence, I stop doing them in front of that person. And we call that growth. But that's not growth. I just put on another mask, that this time a mask that doesn't do the things that she doesn't like, to keep her around, right? I'm scared she's gonna leave me, so I want to put on another mask. I don't want to change, but I'll work so hard on the mask. Oh no, you got me wrong. I'm gonna work very hard for this relationship by putting on a mask and calling it growth. There's a difference. Growth and wearing a mask just to keep certain people around. That is very manipulative. So as time goes on, I stop doing the things that this person asked me to stop doing, but with my friends, I keep doing it because they haven't told me anything about that aspect of myself. So hence the separation begins. What's happening is that person B is incentivizing me to stop doing certain things that I enjoy doing. They don't give a damn. They'll incentivize me to keep doing the same behavior that I've always been doing. I'm different with this person. Isn't that a little cuckoo? That's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I think it is. A little. We all do it, and we all wear masks, but there's a limit to it. You have to acknowledge that if you're not going to be changing, like evolving, like growing, or you're not going to incentivize another person to grow with you, what are we doing in the first place? Huh? Isn't that the whole point of a relationship? To evolve together, to grow together? But as soon as a husband, as a boyfriend, as whatever I am, my mission as a man is to incentivize another person to grow, not to put on masks, not to tell them not to do certain things, but to do it in a better way. If you're gonna dive deep into communication with somebody, develop on your communication skills, on your language, on the way you speak, the way you interact. There are ways to incentivize growth without punishment, but by motivation. So we wear masks mostly because out of fear. We fear that we may be giving all the cards or showing all of our hand to a person that is most probably or probably not our enemy. All of these things go into our mind, and that's not the case. You can wear the most perfect mask right now. There will still be people that don't like you. People will drop out of your life. People that you could have sworn that would stay the long term would drop out of your life, even if you're wearing the perfect mask. So why not just be ourselves? Got an epiphany. We can be ourselves. Nowadays, we are so entrenched to putting on masks that we incentivize it ourselves. When I'm with the bros, with the homies, they say, why don't you text her and tell her this and tell her that and lie to her? Just tell her how beautiful she is and just to get her in bed. I'm right then and there. I'm being the fakest person. But you're telling me that I can just be myself. Yeah, but if I am myself, I won't get that. I won't be able to eat that the way I want to eat it, you know? There's way more important things. Are you telling, value the experiences you have. Value the experience of having something genuine compared to something that will just a hype for the moment. And I'm not saying that you don't have, you can't go around dating or seeing other women. No. What I'm saying is acknowledge who you are. Know thyself. It's one of the most powerful things you can do. When a person stops running away from the fear, and the fear in the sense of being afraid, and that's why we put a mask, that's running away. That's hiding something. When you stop hearing the noise from the outside and start listening to your own voice and not having thoughts of I'm gonna be like this in front of this person, and that's so draining. But when you are yourself, the energy, the influence, and everything just changes within you, and you become so powerful because other people don't have that capacity to face their fears. But when you come out of it, you go through the fire and become another person, basically. And that is one of the most powerful things. And not just for you, but for the future generations. Like, you're doing work as a father. Your family will look up to you, and they will see your actions. What kind of a family would you have being that powerful person that is genuine? You become something else. Why? Because you start doing things differently. You start posting more on social media. Why? Because you stop giving a damn of what other people think. You do it because you like to. You speak about things because you like to speak about them. And whoever is there to listen to you and want to stay there, they can join the ride. But those who are not or don't want to listen to you, bye, bro. Regardless if you're wearing a 100% foolproof mask, people will still dislike you. So why not just be yourself? That's all I have. That's why we wear a mask. Bye. Regardless, if you made it to the end, there is one more thing that is more important, like super important. Like and subscribe. Did you do it? Just kidding, bro. I'll be posting more. You'll be seeing me more often. So you might as well just click the like button, subscribe, and we'll talk about other stuff. And if you do comment about, I don't know, other themes, other subjects that you want, or something that you personally want to discuss about, I'll upload a video and I'll make it happen for you. Or maybe not. Who knows? Regardless, be genuine, stay yourself, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.